What's up YouTube, Chicho Gaming back with another Minecraft tutorial, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make an end portal trap. I've done 3 videos already on how to make end portal traps, and I'll be showing you the ones that I did quickly right now. So the first one was where you'd walk in through a door and hit an end portal trap that was located at head height. The next one was the same thing as that one, however slight variation, where as opposed to the end portal being head height, it is actually on the ground and you fall into it. The last video that I uploaded in regards to end portals is where the person has died and been spawned in their bed in their house, or have gone AFK in their house, or have logged out in their house and they have to get out eventually. They'll eventually go to the door, walk out to get out, and obviously fall straight into that end portal right there. This last one that I'm going to be showing you is quite different to the other ones I've showed you, as it doesn't require a house or anything. You pretty much need to just trick your friends into pulling or pressing a lever. It can be any lever that's located throughout your world or whatnot. Even if it's attached to a previous circuit, you can always just rewire it to attach it to what I'm going to show you now. Otherwise, just place a lever anywhere in the world and hope they press it. It normally works though. So what this does is, when they walk up and hit this lever, what happens is these blocks here will fall through into an end portal. So just to show you now, I've got a cow egg and I'm going to spawn a cow on this block here and give you a scenario of if you'd pull the lever. So for example, if the person was standing there and they were to pull the lever, they would fall straight through into the end that's underneath. The way this works is just via sticky pistons and some stone or whatever material you would like to use, where the lever has actually got all this stone area here covered, that is covering the end portals, and all you've got to do is place a material that falls. For example, I use sand over the top, all of that, and then place some carpet over the top so it all looks level and not suspicious. So once again, when all that is placed, they'll hit the lever, all will fall through to the end, and so will they. What you see here, guys, is just a bird's eye view of the second part that you'll be building of this circuitry. I'm just showing you this first quickly just so it doesn't get confusing, because if I show you the bit on the right hand side first, you may get confused about what goes where and stuff like that. So the bird's eye view purpose is just for a reference point for me, but also you guys, when you're making the actual circuitry, just in case you get a bit lost of what I've done or you're not sure where I put the object, you can always look at this or just pause it here just to get a reference point. So the purpose of the circuitry that you can see here is to actually activate all these pistons, and if you look in a bird's eye view, they go all the way around with another 3 under here covered by the stone that is used to activate the lever. So what all these pistons do, they're sticky pistons and they hold all this stone in place. So obviously when you hit the lever, the pistons deactivate and the stone retracts, and all of this end portal here is exposed, in which they will fall into. I've just left those end portal blocks there. You don't have to, you can get rid of them and hide them, as you don't need that surrounding part of the end portal. However, I've just left them there just to show you guys how to make the end portal or how it actually works. So obviously once you close that again, the circuitry activates and it will close it up. So what I'm going to show you now is this bit just under here, which is the first part of the circuitry that you'll be building. This bit here, the 3 pistons here and this circuitry here, is just replicated right over here, just to give you an idea of where, or the depths of the first part of circuitry that I'll be showing you is. So what you see here, guys, is a bird's eye view of the first part of the circuitry that you will be building. Obviously this area here is not going to be built in the first part. That is just the reference point, or I guess replica of this side here, just to give you an idea of where the, I guess, underground channel of redstone will go that will lead you to your second part. So if I go high up in the air, you can see on both sides, or as a quick reference point, that just on the far right hand side in the bottom corner is where you're going to channel down to connect the first layer, or the bottommost layer of redstone, to the top. So if I drop down now, I can give you a better look at the inside workings of it, which is right there, which you guys can use as a reference point. And what it pretty much this circuitry is doing is it all connects up to this lever there. Eventually, when you have the ground or highest most layer that covers this area of the end portal, is once that all is connected, when you hit that lever, it'll activate all of the pistons, including the bottom layer. So the bottom layer, once again, is just to cover these two blocks of the end portal, as the top layer of pistons will cover the rest. So now guys, I'll just skip to the area and we'll start building. So first what we're going to do is build that bottom layer, as I said, and everything that you need is contained in this chest that I'm going to show you in 1 second. So what this is used for is obviously to build this bottom layer, and the purpose of that circuitry is to cover that end portal right there. So what you're going to need are the following items. You will need 10 redstone, 1 redstone repeater, 2 sticky pistons, 12 end portals, 12 eye of ender, and then just a block that you can place, or a few blocks that you can place redstone on, just to make the raised areas. So what you can see here guys is the crater that's going to be holding all your circuitry. Obviously I've already dug this out previously just to make this video a bit quicker, but the dimensions of this actual crater are 12 in length by 11 wide by 5 blocks in depth. So obviously what we're going to build first is this little sort of platform here with these 2 steps that go down to the bottom level. This platform here is pretty much a reference point throughout the whole entire video of where to place circuitry. So to build that platform, what we're going to want to do is go 2 blocks from either wall. If you're facing the lever, 2 blocks from either wall on the left and right hand side. So 1, 2, and on the third one place, and then 1, 2 on the third one place at the same, on the opposite side. Once you've done this, place 2 blocks in front of those ones that you've just placed and join them together. Once you've joined them together, make sure you fill all this area in right here, and then you're going to want to build another 2 high on top of that, just so it's 2 blocks away from ground level. So once you've done all of this, what we're going to want to do is start making those 2 little steps that will join the bottom circuitry to the top area of circuitry. And to do that, what you're going to want to do is on the right hand side, if you're facing the lever where that platform is, just place 2 blocks right there next to this platform, and then in front of those 2 blocks place 1 more block. Once you've done this, get your redstone, place it on both those blocks you just made, and then grab the redstone repeater that you have and face the lever. Make sure you're facing the lever, and then place that redstone repeater down in front of those 2 blocks of redstone you just placed on the bottom level. What you're going to want to make sure is that these 2 matchstick looking things are actually facing that lever, otherwise it will not work. Alright, so from this redstone repeater, go 4 blocks out from there, and then from that you're going to want to go another 2 blocks on towards the left from that redstone repeater. Now before you go any further, what we're going to actually do is just build that end portal that is on the bottom. So to do that, find where on your little platform that you've made, look for the middle 3 blocks, which are these 3, so it's 2 from either edge of the platform, and dig 1 block, so straight down from there in front of that redstone that's facing left where your repeater is. Dig in front of there 2, just so it's directly under that middle area. So from there, what you're going to want to do is make the basic shape of the end portal, and once you've done that, dig out all the area in the middle so it will lie. Just in case you can't remember what an end portal looks like, that is the framework of it right there. Once again, I put serious emphasis on making sure that these 2 little claw bits here are always vertically facing inwards towards you. As you can see on all sides, they are all facing vertically in towards that center square. And then once you place the eye of ender, just by right clicking on these dark blocks area here on the end portal, they will all self-align. So what I'm just going to quickly do is place all of these end portal blocks down. Once again, making sure that all of those little claw things are vertically facing the middle. Once you've done that, you're going to want to place all of the eye of ender in, but make sure when you place the last one you are not standing in the middle, otherwise you'll get teleported to the end when it lights like so. So once you've done this step and created the end portal, just get rid of all of those end portals with the eye of ender inside, just to make it, one, look a bit prettier, and because you're going to have to place some circuitry where all of those end portals were. So once you've gotten rid of the end portals, just cover it all up with stone, just so you have the actual glowing part on the end portal. So once you've done that, go back to your repeater and face towards the lever, and from there what you're going to want to do is place one block of redstone on that left hand side that's going out, just next to the end portal. Once you have done this, you're going to want to go to the one that's 4 blocks in front of the redstone repeater and place one to the left of that. Once again, if you're in creative mode, which is really helpful, just fly, or if not, just try to be very careful and place 2 pistons just connecting to those 2 pieces or those 2 ends of the redstone. So once you've done this, guys, what you're going to want to do is grab your material that you're going to stick to the sticky piston and just place that on to the actual sticky piston itself. So that's all you need to do for that bottom level. That is all the circuitry for it, and now I'll show you how to make the top level of circuitry. So this is what you should see from a bird's eye view, and this is the completed circuitry on the bottom layer. I'm just giving you this bird's eye view just to reference in case you got a bit confused while I was actually making the circuitry. You can just reference this and make sure that yours looks like this at this stage. What we're going to do now is start creating this area here, which is probably the hardest part of it all. So what you're going to need for this is the content that is inside this chest here. So what you're going to need is stone or a material that does not collapse, just to make the resin parts or fill in any blocks that you may misplace or anything like that. And you're also going to need 12 eye of ender, 12 end portals, 2 redstone repeaters, a lever, 12 sticky pistons, and 57 pieces of redstone. So what we're going to build first is this central part here, just as our reference point for this top layer. So we're going to build just the perimeter of that so we get an idea of what to put where, and once we have built that, we will start building everything else along with this ground area here that we're going to be standing on. So to build that ground area first, just to cover up all the circuitry, you're just going to want to cover this top layer up here, so all in line with that platform that you made. Just make a nice long area just covering this whole bottom layer of circuitry completely. However, make sure you be careful when you're placing it on this side that you do not cover or cut off the circuitry. So I'm just going to cover that all up now, and I'll come back to you in a second. What you should see now, guys, after you've completed just this bit here that I'm standing on that's covering all of that bottom circuitry, you should only be able to see those 2 little pieces of redstone that are going to connect the bottom circuit to the top. In case you're unsure about what's underneath this layer, it is literally just a top layer that is covering all our bottom circuitry that we made before. What we're going to actually start to make now is this rectangular structure here that's in the middle. There'll be a reference point throughout the video of where to place all the circuitry and so on and so forth. So to make this middle part in the middle, what you're going to want to do is go 1, 2, 3 blocks from the wall, and then place one on the 4th, and then from that back wall that is opposite the lever, do the same thing, 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th place a block, and same on the right hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and place a block. Once you've done this, from when you're facing the lever, you'll see that block right in front of you. From that, you're going to want to go 2 out on either side, just so you have 5 in width. Once you've done that, on both ends, you're going to want to go 6 up, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once you've done this, you're just going to want to join all of it together to make a rectangular structure that's hollow in the middle. Once you've done that, guys, you're going to want to build one block higher on that rectangle in the center that you've just made, because that's going to host all of the pistons. Once you've done this, it's time to start placing the pistons. So what you're going to want to do is, when you're facing the lever with that redstone next to you, just knock out the bottom 3 middle blocks. Once you've done that, go onto the left hand side and count 2 blocks away from that back area, so 1, 2, and knock out those 3 blocks. Then on the opposite side of where your little area that goes to the bottom circuitry is, so I'm positioned where the lever should be now, at the end, knock out those 3 blocks again, so it's the same as the opposite side. Once again, do the same as the opposite side here, so these 3 blocks are knocked out, leaving 2 here. So what you're actually going to want to do now is place the pistons. Now, to place the pistons, we are not going to line them up with this rectangular bit, as the arm must be here, and then when it is extended with the block, it will cover this area here. So you're going to want to place the pistons 1 block behind this actual rectangle, like so. So do that on all sides where you have actually hit out an area for the pistons. And once you've done that, from a bird's eye view, it should look something like this. So once you've done this, guys, you're going to want to connect the bottom redstone area to this top area here. So to do so, what we're going to do is just place a block there to connect it to the top, and then from there you're going to want to go another 2 up, just until you're at the edge of that redstone there. Of that rectangle there. Once you're there, connect that redstone to the outermost piston that is facing the lever, and then continue another, from memory, 7 pieces of redstone until you get to the other edge of that rectangle, and make it look the exact same as the other side, again connecting the redstone there. Once you've done this, just connect that middle one up, and you should be left with something that looks like that, which is the platform I was talking about a few minutes ago. Once you've done this, you're going to want to start connecting all the circuitry up on the other sides to the pistons. So what you're going to want to do is connect this circuitry up to that piston there, and then from one in front of this little knot here, so from this one right here, you're going to want to go to the right from that until it's against the wall. From there, continue up, and then go left to continue to connect this middle piston to the circuitry, and from there just go out until you can connect that outermost piston up to the rest of the circuitry as well. When you're here from this little knotted bit of circuitry there, you're going to want to go 1 in just to connect it to that outermost piston, and from that knot as well, you are just going to continue going out towards the lever like that, and then follow along that wall so you can connect this middle one up there. Once you've done that, once again, you're going to want to connect this outermost piston to this circuitry, so go out and come around so it looks like so. So those are now connected as well into the circuitry, and once again from that knot, just connect this outermost piston that is on your left side if you're facing the lever to the circuitry. Once you've done this, from that knot, go out again and follow along the wall so we can connect that middle piston, and then continue up out until you connect back to that final knot at the start, and go 1 more up from there to connect that last piston together. So once you've done that, you should have something that looks like that. However, now we have to place the redstone repeaters in. So to place these redstone repeaters in, you're going to want to make sure that the matchsticks are actually facing away from the levers. So where your little redstone tunnel is there, you're going to want to come, and in front of this knot just here, you're going to want to place one of those redstone repeaters, just so the matchsticks are facing away from where the lever will be situated here in the air. Once again, do that on the opposite side so that it looks something like this, and it should, if you reference to this one here, look the exact same as the one you've just built now. So what we're going to do now is actually make the end portal in the ground that is just here. So to do that, obviously we have to go to our center bit here and dig just this area out here. So once you've dug that area out, if you drop down onto that stone that's underneath the piston, you can see that you don't need to dig, you will need to dig these areas out as well. However, our end portal does not have to be situated here, as they will fall into this one when these blocks are removed by the lever, which will activate the sticky pistons. So what we're going to want to do now is create our end portal. Once again, just rewind a bit and pause at where I show you how to make the end portal, and you're going to want to do that. So obviously make the framework of the end portal now, making sure that all those little claws are once again facing towards the center of you, and continue making the framework, just double checking that all those claws are facing. Once you've checked out that all of them are facing in the middle, what you're going to want to do now is place the eye of ender inside. So go around, place all of the eye of ender inside, and make sure that you're not in it when you place the last one, as it will light up. So once you've done that, get rid of just, if you're facing the lever and with the redstone tunnel that goes to the bottom on your right hand side, you're going to want to get rid of just these bits of end portal here. So when the piston's removed, it all falls, the people, if they are standing in this area here, will fall into the bottom there. So once you have done this, get all your stone and connect it up to the pistons. So just on those sticky pistons, you're going to want to place the blocks of stone. So I'm just going to quickly do that now. I'll be back with you in a second. As I was trying to put the stone in front of those sticky pistons, I realized that if you're actually in survival mode, it can be quite difficult. So what you're going to want to do, just to make it easier, is knock these two pieces of stone away so you can land on the end portal, and that will allow you to easily place all the stone that you need in front of those sticky pistons. So once you've done that, just fly a little just to place the remainder in front of the sticky pistons that you were standing in front of, and once you've done that, it should finally look like this. So once you're at this stage, what we're going to finally do is just connect the lever onto the actual circuitry itself. So to do that, what we're going to actually do is just dig from that center knot that connects your middle piston. So if you're facing the way of the lever, so if you're looking at the lever, that middle knot there on that piston, what you're going to actually do from there is just dig 2 deep back. So go these 3 blocks here, get rid of, and dig 2 back. Once you've done this, what you are going to do is actually join all the circuitry up together. So to do so, obviously put stones on top of those pistons and raise it up too, and your lever will be placed there. So to connect this lever, what we're going to do, you can do it any way you like. I'm just going to show you how to do it now with this circuitry quickly. So the way to do it is just get your stone, place it on top of that redstone, making sure it's not cutting off that circuitry, and then once again, so it looks like a staircase just to that lever there, and then from there, place just after that little knot's finished behind that piston, middle piston, place a block on the ground. Once you've done this, get all of your redstone that is remaining and just join it all up together so it's connected to that lever. So once you've done that, guys, obviously you don't actually have to go back. You can get rid of that because that will connect like so. And once you've done this, it should activate all of your pistons. And now once you've done this, as you can see here, there is actually some end portal that is visible. So what you're going to want to do is actually knock away that end portal that is visible. So fly or get out of the way. And once you've done this, just quickly dig away those 2 pieces of stone that you dug away earlier. to be honest, it'll actually be easier if you do it here. So just dig one away from there, and you're just going to want to get rid of those two middle blocks of end portal. So that one there, and then that one there. So now, when you hit the lever, like so, the whole end portal should be covered. So if I fell through now, I wouldn't fall through. So that's the whole thing complete. That is all the circuitry you will need, and obviously you have to get something such as sand. For example, I'll just get it now quickly to show you, and just a cow egg, just so I can demonstrate that it works when you place it down. So once you've done that, obviously, as I said, get something that falls, for example sand or gravel or anything that will collapse on itself, and just cover that inside rectangle area. So once you have finished covering this rectangle area with sand or whatever material you've chosen to use, gravel or whatnot, it is actually a good idea just quickly to get something that you can place on top. For example, carpet. So what you're going to want to do is that whole ground level, just carpet it all off, or wherever the sand is, just to make it look like there's nothing there, because you don't want to see the gravel or the sand and then all this other different material surrounding it. I mean, you can make the whole thing covered in stuff that falls, as it won't fall onto your redstone or anything like that. However, just cover it all like that, and then once you place your cow, or the person goes to press the button like so, it should all fall through and they'll fall straight into the end. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly get this stone and just cover up this top layer here, just so you can't see any of the circuitry, and I'll be back with you in 2 seconds, guys. So now what I've done, guys, is just covered all that circuitry up that you just finished. So once you've covered all that top layer up, it should look like this. I've just quickly built this into an actual wall and just covered the sides. I've left the back open just to show you something quickly. However, make sure you cover the rest, just in case you're unsure what it looks like. If you go in, it actually looks like that. So all of the circuitry is there, and there's just one block in between that top layer, and sorry, this layer up here and where the circuitry is. So obviously, when you're actually covering it all up, make sure you don't cover this bit up, otherwise you'll cut the circuitry off. It's fine to place anything around here, and even on top of there if you just want to make it a small thing. But remember just to cover all this circuitry up here, just so they can't see it. And remember to make it one block higher, just so you don't cut anything off, like so. So once you've done that, obviously you're finished, and this is what it should look like at the end. So if you go and hit that lever, whoops, so when you hit that lever, oh, it won't let me hit the lever from this far. When you hit that lever, sorry about that, guys, it should close it all up, and then obviously you place your sand on top once again, let it all fall down so it covers those bottom blocks. Once again, cover it all up. Once you've done that, remember, place like carpet or something, just because it makes it a lot easier and a lot more sort of invisible, I guess, so they don't really know, and cover all this area around. It always helps. But yeah, just to show you it works with me, obviously I'm coming, I hit the lever, and bye bye, I'm in the end. And here's the cows and all other crap that's fallen into it while we've been making it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. If you're having trouble with anything, or you need me to explain anything more in detail, I'm more than happy to. Just send me a message. Thanks guys, see ya.